Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Let's look into the first question. Consider the following statements. The Chief Justice of India may, after consultation with the Collegium, transfer a judge from one High Court to any other High Court. Only the transferred judge and no one else is entitled to file a case challenging such transfer. Which of the above statements are correct? The answer to this is 2 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of transfer of High Court judges. Let us try and understand what are these options. When we look into the first option, we have to remember two important articles. One is Article 217. The other happens to be Article 222. What is Article 217? It speaks about appointment of the judge of the High Court. That is not the focus of this article, but remember Article 222 of the Indian Constitution speaks about transfer of a judge from one High Court to another. What does this article say? It speaks about transfer of a judge from one High Court to another. So it is not the Chief Justice of India, but it is the President who may, after consultation not with the Collegium but the Chief Justice of India, transfer a judge from one High Court to any other High Court. The second part of the question speaks about locus standi. Who can file the case? It is only the judge who has been transferred from one High Court to another can only file the case. We have one of the landmark judgments of the Supreme Court of India in K. Ashok Reddy versus the Government of India in 1994. What did the Supreme Court say? The Supreme Court said only the judge who is transferred from one court to another, he has the locus standi. A public interest litigation cannot be filed. Any other advocate cannot file a case. A common man cannot file a case. It is only that judge who's been transferred from one High Court to another, only that judge can file a case with respect to the transfer. However, the aggrieved judge can question the transfer only on the limited grounds. What are these grounds? That is, the President has to consult the Chief Justice of India, and if the Chief Justice of India is not consulted, only then the judge can go about questioning the transfer. Now let's look into the next practice question. With reference to OneWeb, which of the following statements are correct? It is a public sector undertaking of Government of India and commercial arm of Indian Space Research Organization. The main objective is to scale up industry participation in Indian space programs. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is none. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of OneWeb. What is this OneWeb? This happens to be a global communication company. What happens? There are consortium of companies from United States of America, from United Kingdom, even from India, Japan, so on and so forth. These companies have come together and have created one single platform called as OneWeb. What is the objective of this OneWeb? This will basically provide internet services from the satellite to the ground stations. We have different types of internet connectivities. One, it can be provided by satellite. Two, it can be provided by optical fibers and many other means as well. So making use of the satellite to provide internet connectivity to the ground is one of the objectives of this OneWeb. So what is OneWeb? It is a global communication company that aims to deliver the satellite internet around the world by making use of low Earth orbit satellites. This OneWeb global communication company has investments from India's Bharati Global Limited. It has investments from SoftBank. It has investments from UK government. So all these operators make sure that they are able to provide internet services connectivity by making use of the satellite. This is one part. Then this article further speaks about Indian Space Association. What is this Indian Space Association? We did discuss about OneWeb. There are multiple other private sectors that are operating in India. Until now, you had ISRO, which was basically taking care of all the space related activities. But now what you also have is private sectors which are making inroads into the space sector. So bringing all these stakeholders into one of the platforms is called as the Indian Space Association. So what is this Indian Space Association? Prime Minister of India has given permission to this, where you have all the stakeholders, ISRO, multiple companies, private stakeholders coming into picture to transform the space sector. That is the Indian Space Association. Followed by this, what we have in this article is the New Space India Limited. This New Space India Limited is the commercial arm of the Indian Space Research Organization. If we go back to the first option, it is speaking about New Space India Limited. So the New Space India Limited is a public sector undertaking and it is not OneWeb. So the first option is wrong. The main objective is to scale up industry participation in the Indian space programs. What is it? It is the Indian Space Association. Since both the options are wrong, the answer to this would be none. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following statements are correct? The National Commission for Minorities does not have the authority to declare any community as a minority. In case of admission of the student, minority educational institutions can have a reservation of up to 50% for the student of their community. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is both. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of minorities. If we look into the first option, it says National Commission for Minorities does not have the authority to declare any community as a minority. Yes, this is a right statement. Why? It is the authority given to the central government. It is only the central government which would be able to declare whether a community is a minority community or not. So the National Commission for Minorities may make recommendations. It can give advisories to the government, but it is only the central government which can ensure that a particular community is declared as a minority community. So the National Commission for Minorities does not have any such power. It can make advisories, it can make advices, but it is only the central government which can give such a tag to a minority community. Once this minority community is given a specific tag as a minority by the central government, these welfare schemes initiated by the government of India can be taken up and the beneficiaries will be its members. Let's say for example the Christian community, let's say for example the Jain community, let's say for example the Muslim community. If a particular community is given a minority tag, the welfare schemes and programs initiated by the government can be utilized by all the minority groups. Added to this, in case of admission of the student, minority educational institutions can have a reservation of up to 50% for the student of their community. If a Jain is given a minority tag, if they open an educational institutions, up to 50% of those students can only be from the Jain community. If it is a particular institution headed by a Christian body, up to 50% of the students can only be from the Christian community. So both the statements are right. So the answer to this would be both. Now let's look into the next practice question. With respect to International Energy Agency, which of the following statements are correct? India is a founding member of IEA. Membership in the IEA is restricted to advanced economy members of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. The World Energy Outlook is published by IEA. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 2 and 3 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of International Energy Agency. When was it established? It was established back in the year 1974. Why was it established? Because in 1973, the global world witnessed the oil crisis. In order to ensure that such oil crisis does not impact major economies of the world, to make sure that they are able to cope up with the oil scale disruptions, in order to ensure that there is energy policy across the length and breadth of the world, in order to give information on the international oil market, and to assist the integration of environment and energy policies, the International Energy Agency was established. So remember, this happens to be a Paris-based autonomous intergovernmental organization established back in the year 1974. Is India the founding member of this International Energy Agency? No, India is not a founding member. In fact, back in the year 2017, India became an associated member. Now, India is planning to become a permanent member. To become a permanent member, India has some criteria it has to meet. If it is able to meet the criteria, India can become the member of this International Energy Agency. As of now, India is an associate member. It is not a founding member. India can become a permanent member is what is that we have to understand from the preliminary examination point of view. Now, if you look into the second statement, yes, membership in the IEA is restricted to advanced economy members of the organization of OECD. And also remember, the World Energy Outlook is published by IEA. As part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section, is it released annually or is it every 2 years? What is it? Is it an annual one or it is released every 2 years? Put it on the comment section. Now let's look into the next practice question. The term core banking solutions is sometimes seen in the news. Which of the following statements best describes or describe this term? It is a networking of banks branches which enables customers to operate their accounts from any branch of the bank on its network regardless of where they operate their accounts. It is an effort to increase RBI's control over commercial banks through computerization. It is a detailed procedure by which a bank with huge non-performing assets is taken over by another bank. Select the correct answer using the code given below. The answer to this is one only. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2016. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is National Green Tribunal. What is this National Green Tribunal? This is a tribunal. When was it established? It was established back in the year 2010. Under which law? It is under the National Green Tribunal Act of 2010. What is it for? It was established so that there is a particular tribunal to expedite all the environment related cases. Until then, it was taken over by the High Courts and there was appellate jurisdiction also with the Supreme Court as well. So because there were large number of cases in the High Courts, one body that could take over these cases and ultimately expedite the environmental cases is the National Green Tribunal. So remember, the National Green Tribunal will handle all the cases related to environmental protection and conservation. What are the unique features of the National Green Tribunal? The National Green Tribunal shall not be bound by the procedure established by the Code of the Civil Procedure, and at the same time it is not bound by the rules of the evidence as enshrined under the Indian Evidence Act as well. Where does the NGT derive its power from the Constitution? It is Article 21. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution speaks about right to life. An aspect of right to life is clean environment. So if there is a particular body which will ensure that there is clean environment, it has to be the National Green Tribunal. So it draws its inspiration from the India's constitutional provision, which is Article 21. NGT is supposed to ensure that all these cases that come up to the NGT is completed within a span of 6 months within their respective appeals. If they are not happy with this particular judgment, they can also go to the Supreme Court of India. So this particular judgment given by the NGT can also be challenged in the Supreme Court of India. Why are we discussing all this? That is because this article currently goes on to say the Supreme Court has also said that NGT has the suo motu powers. What are these suo motu powers? It basically means that NGT on its own will also be able to investigate a case if it is harming the environment. It is not necessary an application is made to the NGT, but instead, even if the NGT on its own decides that there is a particular issue which is going to torment or harm the environment, it can take up this case on its own, says the Supreme Court of India. So an important pointer from the preliminary examination point of view is that NGT would be able to take cases on a suo motu basis. It is this that we have to understand in reference to this article. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.